What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Thank you for tapping in. Today, we're going to talk about the upcoming fight between Tszyu and Tony Harrison taking place on March 11th in Australia. And this is going to be a WBO title eliminator for an opportunity to potentially fight Jermell Charlo whenever he returns from injury. So, a little bit of history on these two fighters. Tszyu is the son of iconic fighter Tszyu, who was a terror back in the day. A lot of knockout power that seems to have transferred to Tim. So, he's looking to come into this fight and lay the smack down and bring some power and some aggressiveness. And then you've got Tony Harrison on the other side, who has already faced Jermell Charlo twice. He outboxed him in one fight, and then he was actually stopped in their rematch. So they're 1-1. So he's looking to get his get back and get in the ring with Charlo if he can get past Tszyu. So let's go ahead and talk about a little bit how this fight is going to go. So from what I've seen of both fighters, Tony Harrison is more of a fundamentally sound, slick boxer who occasionally has issues with his stamina and gas tank. Actually, in his bigger fights, he seems to gas out late. And that could prove to be an issue facing Tszyu, who's going to apply pressure throughout the fight. What that means for Harrison is that he's going to need to be economic with his punches. His stamina needs to be on 10. He can't come in there out of shape this time. He's got to really be ready to go the distance with a guy that he likely doesn't knock out. Now, while Tszyu has been knocked down by Terrell Gausha, and the last time we saw Tszyu, I don't know that Harrison has the same type of thudding power that can put Tszyu down. Now, that's not to say that Tony can't crack. It just means that it's not likely he's going to get a knockout or a knockdown in this fight. So it's probably in his best interest to have reserves in the tank to be able to go all 12 rounds and try to get the W. He's also going to be competing on foreign soil. So he's going to need to put in a really good effort to show that he's a much better fighter on that night, because you don't want to leave it in the judge's hands in foreign lands to give you a decision in a close fight. It just doesn't work that way. There's a reason you want to fight at home. You want to be in front of your home country. The judges can be swayed by the din of the crowd. And in a place like Australia, where Tony Harrison, probably everybody that's rooting for him probably is going to be on the plane or was on the plane with Tony to get there. So if you think about that, maybe 5 or 10 people in the building are rooting for him, and plus Alicia Baumgartner. That's about it, right? So, but from a standpoint of schematics and strategy, I just think that Tony can box from the outside. He does have really good footwork. He puts combinations together real well, and he's good at setting traps. I've seen him outbox really good boxers. Most of the time, the thing that catches him is somebody's power that carries late into a fight, and Tony can get a little bit ahead of himself and get a little free and loose and, start to not really play around, but lose a little bit of focus, and that could actually hurt him in this fight because Tszyu does carry so much power. On the flip side of that coin, Tszyu is an aggressive, come-forward fighter who has a very in-your-chest style, and he's going to be there to get hit as well, but he's going to deliver blows while he's taking those hits. And it's a matter of, when it comes down to a tough guy competition, are you tougher than Tim? That's going to be a test for Tony Harrison, and I think that Tim can execute a strategy that, if he applies the right amount of pressure early in the fight, that's going to force Tony to use his reserves earlier than maybe he wants to, and that could bring in that opportunity to just outlast him, have the better stamina, have the better gas tank. I think strategically, Tim can also set up some traps. I've seen him bait a couple fighters into making some poor decisions in the ring, which allow him the opportunity to get off some power shots and set you up. I don't really see him favoring one particular thing over another. I think he has a good balance of trying to get his jab to work, but he doesn't rely on it to set up his power. But I also think that he's smart enough not to come in expecting just to throw off power. He does use a little bit of setup, whether it be, he'll throw a particular type of combination early, and then he'll come back to that combination and add a feint, which will get the opponent to make a move, and then it opens up a window for him to bring a power shot, maybe a hook or uppercut, something like that. So from my perspective, I think that this is a 50-50 fight. This could go either way. I think Tony Harrison has the skills and the tools. He's fought on a very high championship level. I think he has the skills and tools to win the fight, but I also think that there are enough flaws in his game that a fighter like Tszyu could take advantage of it. Now, in their face-to-face interview they did on Fox Australia, Tony did allude to the fact that he doesn't necessarily believe that Tim Tszyu deserves a fight, an opportunity to fight for undisputed in all 4 belts. Tim believes that his wins against his 21 opponents is just enough. So they're going to get the opportunity to settle it in the ring. And as a boxing fan, this is something that you really want. This is a good thing for us. This is a great opportunity for 2 men who feel like one doesn't necessarily deserve an opportunity to fight for undisputed, and the other has respect for, let's just say Tim Tszyu has respect for Tony Harrison's path to where he's at. He just thinks he's a better fighter. And I think that this is a great opportunity for them to settle that mano a mano. So it's going to be a really good fight. There's a few good fights on the undercard, including Nikita Tszyu is going to fight on the undercard. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be on Showtime. You know, it's a PBC situation. So be sure to check that out Saturday, March 11th. My prediction, though, I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with Tony because I just think that the pure boxer is going to beat the inexperienced big puncher. And that's my main reason for picking that. There's no other allegiance to either fighter outside of the simple fact that I believe that Tony is the better boxer, and I don't believe Tim Tszyu has enough experience against high-level boxers to say that he's going to be able to outbox Tony over the course of 12 rounds. My only question mark is Tony Harrison's stamina, and if he can keep that up and be economic with his energy, I think he has a great chance to win and thoroughly outbox Tim Tszyu. I'm going to be betting on Tony this week. I think he's a plus 300 favorite. Now, because I've said that, if you do believe that you may have a gambling problem, don't forget to call 1-800-GAMBLING and get some help, okay? But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. This has been Tszyu, the People's Champ. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the feedback. Until the next time, I'm out. Peace.